Hi guys, I'm Nissa and I'm back with another video. Today it's time for Monday reads again. I will like to apologize for the fact that I haven't posted a Monday read in a couple of weeks now, because of one thing, I was very busy, and secondly, I had a couple of weeks where I haven't planned anything in terms of my reading. I just read whatever I felt like. But now I want to get back on track with my planning and stuff, so I figured I better film a Monday reads. Today I will talk about the books that I have finished in September so far, because I know that there are probably more that I could talk about that I finished in the past 2 weeks, but I will hopefully have a August wrap up pretty soon, so you can hear about my thoughts about that then. And so today is about the books that I have finished reading in September, and there are 5 books I can talk about so far. The first one being Heather the Totality by Matthew Weiner. Is that his name? This was terrible. That's the nice way of saying it. I don't know why this was ever made into a book. I don't know why the publishers decided this could be published, unless it's because of his name being apparently the man behind Mad Men, which is very popular, and I'm pretty sure that that is a great thing, but this one should not have been picked up for publishing. It is really terrible, and I don't recommend it for anyone. It is basically, it reads as though it's just a synopsis. Basically, there's no interaction between characters, there's nothing like that. It's just as if he was writing a synopsis of a movie, you know, just going over bit by bit about what this specific book was, or maybe an outline for a novel of what this was supposed to be about, and it just that's what's published, and I don't understand it, so I give this 1 star. I don't give 1 stars very often, but I really don't recommend this for anyone, so definitely stay away from this if you ever see it and feel like it may be interesting because you recognize the author. It's not worth it. So that was the first one. The next thing that I finished was Nice Dragons Finish Last by Rachel Adams. This is the first book in a series called The Heartstrikers. It's following a clan called the Heartstrikers. It's a clan of dragons. Julius is like the smallest of the dragons, and because of him showing a couple of weaknesses, he is basically banished from the group and has to take up a human form, and he has to sort of fulfill a quest so that he can prove that he is a worthy dragon. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was a good start to a series, and I definitely recommend the audio. It was pretty decent. The next thing that I finished was Suspicious Minds by Gwenda. This is the first book in the prequel stories that is like a series set in the Stranger Things universe. And this one is a prequel story of that follows Eleven's mother. I'm not going to say much more than that because I feel like if I say too much, I could end up spoiling the TV show, and I don't want to do that. And I definitely think that I think you should definitely watch the TV show before you read these books, because they're not spoiler in the sense that things haven't happened yet, but I feel like if you've read this and going to the TV show, there are some things that's not as much of an oomph when you watch the TV show. So I definitely think you should watch the TV show, and then you can read these novels now. Like, I think you can read both first and second novel after you've watched the first season. But it could be that you need to watch the second season as well. I actually think the second season will be out, which would be when you should read these, because when I think about it, some of the revelations about what happens in this book is not talked about until season 2, because then you see what actually happened. So I would definitely say watch the first 2 seasons and then read this one. That's how you do it, or watch all 3 seasons of this TV show and then go and read the books. I don't think you'll be spoiled then. But I definitely enjoyed it. It was a nice audio. I really enjoyed the narration of the audio, and I think it was definitely creepy, and there were some bad things happening to this person. But I did enjoy it. It lacked a little bit of the oomph from the TV show, but I still really enjoyed it, so I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then yesterday I finished The Grownup by Gillian Flynn. This is a very, very short audio that she originally published that was originally published in the anthology called Rose by Gardner, George R. Martin and Gardner Dozois. I own that anthology and can't wait to get to it. But this one was also republished in its own little short novella form. And I definitely very much enjoyed it, so I'm now very intrigued to read more by Gillian Flynn. I thought it was a well-written story. I didn't think it needed to be longer at all, which was great because it's a short story. It was 60 pages long and the audio was only 38 minutes. But it was creepy, it was interesting, it was mind-bending, and I really enjoyed it, so I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm definitely very intrigued to read one of her novels now. I'm not sure which one to start out with. I think I might start out with one of the lesser known, not Gone Girl. I'm gonna start out maybe with Sharp Objects or something like that, but I'm not sure. And the final thing that I also finished yesterday was Crimson Eyes by McNeill. This is a very new published novel, and it's the first in an urban fantasy series called the Kuslo Saga. This is an urban fantasy series that follows, that's set in a different version of London, or well, England, or the world, but it's set in London. And the world has been invaded by demons and stuff. And we follow a character who has lost her soul to a demon, and she also has wings. I forgot what but she's a demon hunter. She goes around slaying demons and trying to get her soul back in that way. On her quest, she meets Amber, who is possessed by a demon, and what's his name? David? No. Damon, maybe? And they sort of end up into a group that's called the Kuslo, I think. Oh my god, I'm so terrible! Why am I so terrible at reviewing books? I don't know why I do this. However, I really enjoyed it. It was definitely very interesting. I thought that she was good at creating the tension or suspense or whatever you want to call it when you read urban fantasies. There's some action, and there's definitely a lot of interesting characters. I thought it was interesting seeing this from Shelby's perspective. I'm really terrible at remembering names, so I've already forgotten them all. She's the one without a soul, so some of her thought processes, I think you could definitely tell that she might not have a soul. I don't know if it was on purpose. I hope it was, because it's like she was written in a way where you could tell that she lacked something because she didn't have a soul. That was part of her humanity when you have a soul and you, yeah. I hope that was supposed to happen, and that was the intended purpose with it. But I definitely enjoyed it, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was a very interesting start to a series, and I'm definitely intrigued to read more. So yeah, highly recommend it if you haven't read it already. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the sale is over, but it was definitely on sale on Kindle right now. The other day that I saw, maybe it was like the last day yesterday, so I'll be a terrible person and suggest it, but you can definitely get this from Amazon already. It was published on the 31st of August, so definitely go and check out if it's something that interests you. You should definitely consider buying it or getting it on your Kindle. Now that was all I've finished so far in September. Now let's get into what I'm currently reading and my plans for next week. First things first. I have started on Forbidden Falls by Robin Carr. This is my audio in the car. I started it last week on Wednesday. I'm still not done with it. I listened to it a bit today. It's going a little bit slowly because I'm not enjoying the audio so much, but I definitely plan on finishing it one of the next days. It's been a little bit quiet at work this week or last week because of things. So the things that I've had to do is difficult to listen to an audio because I have to write a lot of things down. And when I do that, I can't listen to an audio at the same time. But I am more than halfway. I think I might now be about 75% through it. So I might be able to finish it tomorrow. When today started, I had 156 pages left. So I was like 58% into it this morning or yesterday when I made this list. Another book that I started last week was the Barnaby Grimes and the Curse of the Werewolf, or the Night. I think it's called the Night Wolf on Goodreads, but the specific word is werewolf, so I don't know. But this is by Paul Stewart and Chris Riddell, and I read the first 26 pages, so not very much. I am just going to, I'm planning on trying to read a little bit of this at night before bed, so I can make a little slow, steady progress on this one. But I should be able to finish it because there's only like 73 pages left. Another book that I have started, but not finished, but I plan to finish this week is Roses and Violets, or Rosa Viola, which is a Danish fantasy book by Gry Kabel Jensen. This was published this year. And she's coming to the Fantasy Festival, which I'm going to next weekend. That's why I decided to read it. So I have something I've read when I get there. I feel like a little bit bad about it, but I managed to get to page 60 yesterday when I was listening. So I figure I could definitely finish this over this next week. My plan is for my ebooks on my Overdrive. I have to read Wild Beauty. That's the plan this week. I have 8 days left to finish it, so I need to get started on it. My plan is to start it already today and work my way through it over the week. Hopefully I will really enjoy it, so it's not a big problem getting back to reading it. I have very high hopes for this because a lot of people seem to enjoy it. But I also know the writing style is a bit different, so I wonder if it's something that's easy to read or if it's something that takes a little more effort. But we'll see when I get started on it today. But I am definitely planning on finishing all of this so I can have it finished before it expires from the library. Another book that I'd like to get started on, I have actually put myself down only to 100 pages, and that is Trumps of Doom by Roger Zelazny. This is the sixth book in the Amber Chronicles, and I need to get working on it so I don't have as much of the other one left when September is over or something. But I definitely want to try and start this and see how far I can get over this next week. And then we'll see. I have next week off from work, so I'll definitely try and finish it then. But for now, I've put myself down to 100 pages from this week. And finally, another audio I've put on my list is Murder in Little Italy by Victoria Thompson. This is book 8 in the Gaslight Mystery series. I will start it as soon as I finish Forbidden Falls by Robin Carr. It's not as long as Forbidden Falls, so I might be able to finish it this week. And otherwise, I will definitely finish it when I go for my drive to the Fantasy Festival, where I'll also be starting on Christine. I have 1.5 hours drive to and from the Fantasy Festival, so I'll definitely listen to that, I think, then, because that way I can get a good chunk out of that audio. But I haven't actually planned it down, so I didn't think that I needed that, but we'll see when I get around to it. It might be that I won't have finished the other audios and I'll finish those first and then get working on the others. So in total, that means I have put myself down to read 1,349 pages with an average of 193 pages per day. However, I have also just started on Full Metal Alchemist yesterday after I planned this, and so I'm going to try and see what, if I feel like it, I'm going to be reading from this, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, those are my plans for the next week. Let me know in the comments down below what you have been reading lately. if you've read any of the books that I've been talking about today, and let me know about what you thought of them, if you agree with my thoughts. Also let me know if you have any exciting plans for the next week. I'll also always like to know that as well. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.